The reality behind what Brussels has described as a significant deal between the EU and US has been laid bare, as a pro-Brexit group outlined the real value of the pact. Remainers have celebrated the New Deal, which the EU claims is the first of its kind between the two sides in 20 years, with likes of LBC's James O'Brien mocking Brexiteers over the pact. The deal will see the US half tariffs on some EU exports into the country, while Brussels would scrap tax levies on live and frozen lobster in return. But the brutal truth of the deal, pro-Brexit group Fax4EU claim, is that Brussels' pact covers the exports of certain prepared meals, certain crystal glassware, surface preparations, propellant powders, cigarette lights and lighter parts and covers just 0.023% of all EU exports to the US. The new tariff agreement was announced by EU Trade Commissioner Phil Hogan, who said the agreement will increase market access for hundreds of millions of dollars in US and EU exports. Confirming the pact, the EU Trade's official Twitter account added, "We have a deal." The EU and the US have agreed on a significant tariff reduction, the first in more than 20 years. The agreement eliminates or reduces tariffs for €168 million, £150 million in EU and US exports. But Fax4EU argue that this just covers a small chunk of the value of all EU exports to the US, which sits at $684,000 million £493,000 million per year. The data, the group says, comes from 2018 Office for the United States Trade Representative, and means the New Deal only covers 0.023% of all EU exports to the US. Reflecting on its findings, the group added, "Once again the EU Commission is trumpeting its prowess at doing trade deals. In this case the deal with the United States is so tiny it will not even register on the majority of EU 27 countries' own export figures, let alone the EU's collective figures. In the meantime, the EU has an opportunity to do a quick trade deal with a large country on its doorstep, its second largest export market, and a country with whom it has a massive trade surplus. Right now the EU will not even offer the UK a trade deal such as those it has done with Canada and Japan since the EU referendum." Reports emerged yesterday surrounding the new pact, which also involved the EU scrapping trade levies on live and frozen lobsters imported from the US. To complement this, the US said it would have tariffs on the aforementioned products, which will be available for a period of 5 years. It will remain subject to the approval of the European Parliament and European Council.